Welcome to Event Charts for the weekly analysis. Looking at SPY, after the breakdown due to this bearish divergence, SPY came down to test this fair value gap on the weekly time frame as well as the daily time frame and took that as a support and retested back to test this small fair value gap that it invalidated on the June 5th red candle. Price could not close above this resistance for the entire week. If price manages to close above this resistance, we also have this overhead bearish fair value gap, which needs to be taken out to continue with its uptrend. If you look at the Fibonacci retracement levels, price tested this 23.6% Fibonacci retracement level and reversed back. Looks like it wants to continue up, or if these resistance levels strongly rejects the price and prints any bearish candlestick pattern, then price may come and test this 710, 712 level followed by 695 level. Looking at the weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, it printed a dragonfly doji candle taking support from the fair value gap on the weekly time frame, also collecting liquidity below the 9 EMA. So if we get another bullish engulfing candle breaking above this lower time frame resistance, possibilities are higher to make another higher high. In case if it closes above this all-time high, then it may create another all-time high around 780-83 level. This is on the weekly time frame, so it will take its own time. But if it runs a follow-through bearish candle closing below this fair value gap, then price will come and test 712 followed by 695. This fair value gap. Looking at the hourly time frame, on the hourly time frame, it formed a nice double bottom pattern here on the weekly fair value gap zone. It also broke out of this lower time frame double bottom setup and even retested the same to test this resistance. Price couldn't close above this resistance on the Friday session, but it is trading above the 20 EMA as well as 9 EMA on hourly time frame. If price is able to break this 200 SMA resistance on the hourly time frame and close above this lower high, then the trend will change to uptrend to align with its longer time frame uptrend. You can also see that it broke out of this trend line resistance. So this neckline, this may act as a support in the coming sessions around 737.5. Price is currently at the resistance level. Breaking above, we have resistance at 748.5, which is inside this bearish fair value gap on the daily time frame which we marked. Breaking above 748.5, we have resistance at 751.53. We have this gap as well. Looking at Microsoft after taking out this lower high went all the way up to test the 200 SMA as well as this major resistance and reversed all the way back down to this fair value gap as well as the golden Fibonacci levels between this swing low and swing high. It's worth to watch the price action at this level to see if it is forming any bullish chart pattern between these two levels in the upcoming days. If price fail to hold this 379 level, then it will come and test this swing low, even the support at 329. Any bullish chart pattern at these levels will help form a higher low here to make another higher high. Looking at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, Microsoft printed back-to-back bearish candles. Currently, price is within this inverse fair value gap level as well as testing the 200 SMA on the second time, like we have one here. tested 200 SMA twice before reversing back to the uptrend. If Microsoft manages to print a bullish engulfing candle this week, it will be nice. In case if it breaks below this trend line, then the chances are high even to come and test this 280 level. Also looks like inwards up and holder pattern. So if the 200 SMA on the weekly time frame doesn't help, then Microsoft will enter into a long-term downtrend to test this 280 level. In between, we have support at 330 as well as 300 level. Instead, if it prints a bullish engulfing candle, reclaiming the 20 EMA and weekly time frame, taking support from the 200 SMA and weekly time frame again, then it will intact to its larger time frame uptrend. Looking at Apple, Apple printed a bearish engulfing candle from this trend line resistance level, where it corrected heavily in the last two times. And last time also it corrected a little bit. Currently it is at this 289 support level, and the 9 EMA breaking below, we have support at 280 followed by 271. We also have this previous resistance which can act as a support, which is aligning with the 50% retracement between this high and low around 280 level under the 20 EMA and weekly time frame. Looking at the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, after grabbing the liquidity above this larger time frame trend line resistance, it printed back-to-back bearish candles, leaving bearish fair value gap as well as invalidating this bullish fair value gap, and price is trading below the 20 EMA. Currently price seeing rejection from this previous support which is acting as a resistance. Suppose if price manages to retrace back above, then we have this resistance levels and the 20 EMA which may push the price down to test to this support levels or even this demand zone, which aligns with the 50% Fibonacci retracement between this low and the high. Looking at Amazon, Amazon also pulled back significantly from this all-time high after breaking this previous higher high. So now it is near the 200 SMA as well as this fair value gap level, larger fair value gap as well as this inverse fair value gap within this fair value gap. Worth to watch the price action here for any bullish chart pattern setup or candlestick pattern setup. Taking a fib extension between this swing low and high, this zone is aligned to the 50% and 61.8% fib retracement between this low and high. So worth the place to watch. We also have 200 SMA support. Looking at the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, price is slightly trading below this 20 EMA and dipped into this larger fair value gap. Also tested this previous resistance level. So nice place to watch a bullish setup here. Looking at American Airlines. So American Airlines on the larger time frame, it is trading within this descending triangle pattern. But this week it printed a bullish engulfing candle right at the 200 SMA on the weekly time frame, near to the 20 EMA as well. We also have this cup and handle breakout and retest on the lower time frame. So if price manages to hold above this 200 SMA and weekly time frame, the chances are high to break out of this descending triangle pattern and even break out this major resistance at 18.75 level to test this resistance around 25. This is on the weekly time frame, so it will take its own time. For now, it looks like it is forming a larger rounding bottom here. Even previous time also, price broke out of this 200 SMA couple of times. But the only difference this time is it took support from 200 SMA. So it may go and break out this descending triangle pattern. Looking at the volume also has been significantly high during this consolidation compared to this volume from 2021 to 2025. Last 1 year it has been trading above average. Looking at the daily time frame, on the daily time frame it is trading on this uptrend channel after breaking out from this downtrend, and it formed a double bottom pattern here at this previous resistance level, also near to the 200 SMA and 20 EMA and daily time frame. It printed a bullish Morobusu candle on Thursday session, leaving fair value gap between this Wednesday and Friday session. So this fair value gap may act as a support in the coming sessions to test this resistance around the 16.25 followed by 18.75. Looking at Rivian. So Rivian also on the daily time frame broke out of this falling wedge pattern or even a descending triangle pattern after sweeping liquidity below the swing low. It immediately reversed and broke out of this trend line, then tested this resistance, then retraced back immediately and printed back to back bullish candles taking support from 200 SMA and 20 EMA and daily time frame, again breaking out of this trend line resistance. The chances are high to test this resistance around 18.10, even the one at 26.50, this high. Looking at the weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, Rivian has been trading on this ascending triangle pattern, seeing a rejection from 200 SMA and weekly time frame. But this week, it took support from this trend line support as well as from this fair value gap level for under doji candle. So if price manages to break above this resistance of 18.10 and close above the 200 SMA, and if it starts taking the 200 SMA or this level, this 18.10 level as a support, then it will go and test this resistance at 22.5, even 24.5. Thank you so much for watching.